Hey everyone, I'm Sarah Clark, founder of FabFertile, and we have Justine Altman here. Hey Justine.
Hey, Sarah.
Hey, Justine is our nutrition director and a functional nutrition practitioner. And today we're talking all about male factor infertility. And as part of our FabFertile method, we do a blood chemistry review, not to diagnose, but to educate. And we are looking at your semen analysis through functional reference ranges. This is similar to the blood chemistry for people that are healthy, as opposed to the conventional reference ranges are for people with disease. So the functional reference ranges are just tighter and it flags it earlier. So we're going to give you some markers here for you to look into, and then to see, potentially even if you've been told your semen count, your semen analysis is normal, and especially if you haven't been told it's normal, these are some things for you to dig into further. So Justine, let's talk about volume.
Yeah, so there are different opinions as to how much volume is appropriate when we're doing a collection for semen analysis. And the Western standard is usually like 1.5 milliliters. And in reality, we know that we want more, at a minimum, 2.5. And this is sort of the first most important number when we're talking about sperm count, right? Because the volume that's produced is sort of what sets the rest of the numbers, because the count, when people talk about sperm count, that's how many per milliliter of semen fluid. And so if any of the numbers from the very top are lower than ideal, then that really diminishes the numbers. I just had a client on Friday who was told that his was just fine when the numbers were in the 20s, 20 million per volume. And in reality, we know from a functional standpoint, we really want it to be 80 to 100. And then come to find out, the doctor was talking about it in terms of, well, that's fine for an IUI. It's like, well, that's not our goal. Our goal is a natural pregnancy.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then there are several other factors as well, right? So we look at how well the sperm are able to swim, how many of them are healthy or dysfunctional in some way, right? So that's the morphology number that we're talking about. And it's normal for the majority of them to be malfunctioning, right? There's only a certain percentage that are usually normal, and that's about 15%. But 15% is much higher than the standard Western expectation, which is somewhere like 4%.
Right. Right.
So in reality, we want these numbers to be nice and healthy.
And what about motility? What do we see in there from a conventional to a functional parameter?
For motility, we're looking at wanting that to be more than 50%. So more than 50% of them are actually able to swim and make forward progress, as opposed to the Western range, which is 40%.
Right. And then we've got anything else you want to say there? Progression.
Yeah. So again, that's another one related to, so it's related to motility, but it's about whether or not they can actually make progress toward the egg, actually make, forward progress.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So especially if you've been told that everything is normal, definitely, looking at your semen it's similar to the egg. Like, we're not focusing all like myopically on the health of the semen is similar to, we're not focusing, all on health of the egg. It's we're looking at all the other parts in your body and really, well, why is your semen or your egg health not at optimal? And so these can then be like, oh, wait a minute, especially if it's frustrating if you've been told everything's fine and then you don't really need to know what to do. And you're still either experiencing miscarriage, or you're still not able to as a couple get pregnant. So, and it's like, you may not know what to do. But with this approach, be like, oh, wait a minute, this is off. And then we're also looking at the blood chemistry to see what are some other factors that, that are potentially off. And in another video, we're going to talk about themes that we see. But any other comments on that one, Justine?
Yeah, so it's, the good news is all of these things in most cases are able to be improved, right? It's a matter of doing some work to clean up our diet and our lifestyle a little bit, and we see big progress in these numbers. So it's not a life sentence.
Awesome. Great. So if you wanted to chat further and see how the FabFertile method can help you and your partner get pregnant naturally, or if you do need to go to the clinic, improving your success with your own eggs and semen, then you can just click on the link below and book a call. So thanks again.
Thanks, Sarah.